Bond. James Bond.
Suddiness from the champion and Cassius Marcellus Clay.
The Beatles, bring 'em on!
Welcome back to Andertons TV, everybody. It's a very special day.
It is a special day.
Yeah, the 2024 is our 60th anniversary. So my dad and grandfather opened the very first Andertons in 1964.
Isn't that crazy?
In 2014, so to do the 50th anniversary, we did this very cool guitar amplifier with Marshall.
I remember.
And they were so kind, Marshall, because they really allowed me to spend some time with their R&D team to talk about kind of like how could we do like a 1 watt version of like a JTM inspired 64 amp. And they were amazing about, obviously we were constrained with regards to the circuit that we could use because of, you know, modern manufacturing techniques, but they were very, very cool about finding the covering that would have been available in the 60s and handles and knobs and the weave and all that kind of stuff. So we did this limited edition amplifier. It was crazy. The head on its own was about 600 quid, 700 quid. We made 200 of them with Marshall, and you find them from time to time on eBay now going for like 2,000 or 3,000 quid each. It's crazy.
I almost bought one and I regret it every day.
Yeah, it's anyway. So as we came into 2024, a year or two back, you know, people started saying, do you want to do some products, blah, blah, blah. And I got offered literally every brand that we dealt with said, oh yeah, we could do like a blue version of our such and such a amp or overdrive or guitar and call it this. And I'm like, you're missing the point, guys. It's like, there has to be some authentic connection with 1964, some thought goes into this, perhaps a connection with 2024 as well. I quite like the British connection if we can do something there, or certainly a connection if it's not British with a brand that would have been around in the 60s in Andertons. So, there is something, this is the hors d'oeuvre, the starter, right? There's something kind of bigger coming probably in September, which is the big one, if you like it. You like the equivalent probably of the Marshall that we did in 2014. Not a Marshall, by the way.
Not a Marshall.
But what I love about this, Adrian Thorpe, we've got to know terribly well. He's a lovely, lovely guy, has had real success building his British pedal company up, ThorpyFX, over the last... he must be nearly 10 years old now, isn't he? I would have thought that business.
Absolutely.
Done the Dane, obviously, with Pete. He's made loads and loads of cool pedals.
Electric Lightning. With the
and bless him, Adrian was one of a very small number of people that really bought into the concept of not just doing another pedal and making it a different colour and calling it Anniversary. So with Dan Coggins, who is a designer that works with Thorpe, we started talking about what were the iconic sounds of the 60s pedal sounds. Now, of course, if you're a pedal connoisseur, you'll know that kind of back in 64, pedals weren't really a thing.
Not really.
Brands like Maestro were just dabbling with those very first fuzzes, but it's before even, you know, Tone Bender or Fuzz Face or... And
was there a wah pedal then? Was that like a
probably
thing?
Would have been a wah pedal,
like
yeah.
a thing.
But Dan Coggins actually came up with this idea of a circuit that incorporated a vintage fuzz, so, you know, a Tone Bender era fuzz, but into a tremolo circuit, so almost like looking at those old Fender amplifiers that would have had a tremolo circuit into it, loading a fuzz into that, but also messing with the way the fuzz interacts with the tremolo, so you've got some quite weirdy, cool sounds here.
Yeah.
And I thought, that for me ticked the box of, okay, that's authentic. That's a thing that was kind of happening, and it hasn't been done to death like a million times.
I don't think it's ever been done, but...
fuzz thing, or the fuzz trem
Maybe
thing.
it has, I don't know.
So, let's unbox it and talk a little bit about the graphics. So, this is what you're going to get.
That's cool.
Yeah, you got your plectrum with your sticker. Okay, so this is called If you managed to see that, did you, through the cellophane? This is the 6-0. So let's put it down. We'll keep it this way up. Right. This is the 6-0, and we'll talk about the significance of that name, why it's called the 6-0. The obvious reason, of course, it's our 60th anniversary, so that's where 6-0 comes from. 6-0 is also typically like a military call sign, so all the Thorpe pedals have normally got like a British military sort of angle to them. So of course, yeah, 6-0, it's our 60th 6-0 military call sign, so it gets the sort of the Thorpe angle in. How cool is this though? The graphic on the top is a topographical map. So all of the little contours are showing the relative heights of the land and all that kind of stuff. And that is Guildford. Yeah. So, or rather that's the sort of surrounding area. And where the A has been kind of laser cut into there, that is where Andertons is on the map topographically. So I think that's super cool. Underneath the pedal, you're going to see this obviously Andertons logo with the 60th anniversary. Adrian and I had some fun signing these. There are 200. They're all individually limited with serial numbers going from 1 to 200. This is completely handmade in the UK, in England.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And there are 200 of them, and we're going to plug it in and check it out.
And I'm excited.
There we go. And I believe as soon as this video goes live, they will be in stock, so you'll be able to buy one, have it delivered tomorrow, and this is available worldwide. So pretty much wherever you live in the world, if one of our couriers goes there, you'll be able to check out and
is that it then? 200, that's it?
200, that's it. I mean, Adrian and I did go, if this is uber popular, would we retain the circuit, but in a non-limited?
Yeah.
So call it something else, change the graphic, whatever. And you know what? I sort of said to Adrian, I quite like the idea of just keeping it to 200, but at the end of the day, a lot of money goes into doing R&D on these kind of pedals on Adrian's side. So it's possible, if it's crazy popular, it might become a non-limited version. But who knows? Right now, the plan is just this. So
exciting, man.
Let's plug it in.
Yes.
See what it sounds like. Okay. Here is the pedal. Trem this side, fuzz this side, but remember, of course, guitar signal is going this way, so it's fuzz into trem. The tremolo is completely discrete, so we can turn it on its own, and it's a normal trem system. When you run the fuzz into the trem, you get this much more pulsing sense of the fuzz, right? You don't get this sort of volume going up and down like you would do over clean. You get this quite cool, not univibey, but in that it's more of a pulsed gain thing rather than a volume going up and down. The fuzz, again, it's got attack and a level control, and the attack control is not a typical gain, i.e. that the more you turn it up, the more you get. It does this weird thing where you've got to find the sweet spot on there to get the sort of the smoothness of the fuzz that you want, and then either side of it, the guitar will enter into sort of a more spitty kind of...
It's a Velcro kind of fuzz going on.
Yeah, level is the normal volume control, and again, it's very loud. So there's enough level in here to really send your amp into some crazy
Any Thorpe stuff
drives
is
as well.
Super loud.
So I kind of feel like the boring bit is to share. The boring bit is kind of just showing you the trem on its own, I think, but we might as well.
It's not boring, the trem is lovely. So you got on that side, that's the...
depth and speed.
Okay, so... That's nice there.
The circuit's been designed so that as you adjust the speed, it ducks the effect out until you've essentially got to where you want to go, and then it comes back in at the new speed.
I see, right.
But
I think it's a great sounding.
Designed to be like the trem circuit you'd get on an old, period amp.
Oh, it settles in. I love that. Speed and depth, the two things we're looking for in life.
So that's the trend system
great,
on
man.
it. But
Yeah.
the fuzz is where the fun happens. And again, we'll just have to see where we sort of dial in to get I was messing around a little bit with this guitar through this pedal, so I kind of know
we'll try some
there's some
humbuckers as
sort
well.
of sweet spot here. But yeah, we'll have some fun. So.
It's got that.
It's, yeah.
Wow.
It's super honky. It's very vocal.
Wow.
You got to play with like the volume. There's the spit. Yeah.
Is that the gatey?
It's,
that. It introduces an octave in there as well.
well, so that's what I'm saying. It doesn't just get more as you go up. It's about there's a sweet spot. And it does some sort of overload thing at one end and like an underload.
Nice.
That's me turning the volume down here. Funny how tone controls on guitar works with some certain like this one. It's just great. Here, from all the way up on the tone.
So this is very unlike the
It's great, man.
the Odin that I've got from Fjord Fuzz. This is much more vintage, much more chaotic as well. You really don't know what you're going to get depending on the guitar.
It's like my life.
But what I want to do is show you, and this works well, I think, when you're doing those long sustained notes, you with the tremolo on it, you really hear the movement that the tremolo circuit begins, which I bloody love. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
It's like underneath it all.
It's
isn't it?
really weird. Yeah, it's not. Like I say, if I switch it off, the fuzz will sound much the same, but there's some movement going on.
Yeah, something in there.
In the gain and the compression that just changes.
Turn it up, see what happens. it's like a trumpet on steroids.
I think you did that bend there, but playing the B string as well on the 11th fret, and it had that Hendrix.
Playing all day long, man. That's epic.
So I really love what Adrian and Dan have done with that.
Well done.
Yeah, I can't claim any credit for what's gone into the guts of this.
You should.
Just no.
Claim all the credit. Maybe get an MBE at the end for tone. A TBE.
I'd love to hear this with a couple of other guitars.
Yeah,
especially something with some humbuckers on it, just to see where it goes.
This is terrible anyway. You take that back. It's an awful guitar.
Oh, he's brought the big guns out. He's brought the big guns out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we might have to try and find its other sweet spot, but I don't know, maybe you want to play something more laid back in the sort of Gary Clark kind of vein, or I don't know, but let's see. We never really explored what happened all around the top, did we? So let's have a little...
I'm turning down the volume here. You want those big old bend. Oh man, those guys.
It's a monster, isn't it? That is an absolute monster. I mean, look, we should. I want to hear it with. Can I hear it with the? Have you got the OG?
Yeah, I
want to hear it with the OG.
Okay.
And whilst we're doing that, price-wise, $249 including VAT if you live in the UK.
That's not bad.
And you get free next day shipping. Hopefully, a few of these will make their way outside of the UK. Would love to, see these all around the world. But if you take the VAT off, if you're shopping from outside the UK. The UK,
mate.
That'll bring the price down closer to the sort of £200 mark, and then so if you convert that into dollars, add the shipping on, all that kind of stuff. I'd be surprised if these are much more than, $260, $270 in the US shipped and everything. But
that'll be 500 quid on or £1,000 on reverb before you know it. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I always hoped that wouldn't happen, but I guess to a certain extent that's always out of our control. But yes, thank you again. Thanks to everybody. You don't get to 60 years
without people out there loving you, right?
Well, everyone, all the staff that have worked here over the last 60 years, obviously, especially now, obviously we've got some really good ones now.
But you didn't have that when you worked there, they weren't no good.
The staff over the last 6 years have been magical, amazing, and obviously the suppliers that we've dealt with, and some of those supplier relationships, like Marshall, are literally a 60-year relationship, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
That is nuts, and of course the customers who have always supported Andertons and been loyal to Andertons, which is wonderful. And then of course ever since YouTube has come along, the number of people that have heard of us has just gone through the roof, and
you're getting all
it's amazing to be. No,
I get it, man. You deserve it. It's hard work to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long. I've only been part of the journey for probably half that time, which is crazy to think. But look, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the little montage of sort of 64 things that happened at the beginning. I do love the timing of that Beatles blowing up, and thousands of little music shops would have opened up around the world off the back of that explosion.
Absolutely.
Of sort of
absolutely.
Pop music. But yeah, we were there and we're still here, which is wicked. And thank you very much for making sure that we are. And thank you again to all of you that want to order one of these. Yeah. It's a very cool
product. For the next 60 years, man.
Can you imagine? What will our grandchildren? Will it, or just
It'll all be. There won't be any of this left.
Versions of you and me, robots. Well, anyway, that's about the only thing that is for sure. Is we won't be here in 60 years' time doing more videos.
I will.
Okay, well, look, let's have a listen to this with the OG. Thanks a lot, guys and girls, and we'll see you in another video soon.
You have to play, you can't play fast on this, it's slow, isn't it?